For over 50 years, Donald Ritchie has lived opposite The Gap, a rocky ocean cliff in the eastern Sydney suburb of Watsons Bay. Despite the beauty of the area, sadly, The Gap has long been known as a notorious suicide spot. While most would turn a blind eye, Don has spent the last 5 decades reaching out to those contemplating suicide.
You couldn't just sit here and watch them. I mean, or I couldn't. So I used to go over and try and help them, and I'd say, hello, what do you? And I'd give them a smile because there was some chance of making a friend of them.
I could well imagine somebody in their darkest moments just looking at him, this tall, gentle man, and changing their mind.
A retired life insurance salesman with no training in suicide prevention, Don admits he knows nothing about mental illness or depression, but his reasons for reaching out were simple.
You can't live here and just watch them kill themselves. I can't.
I said, what do you say to people, when you go over there? And he said, I go over there and sell them life. I
go to try and get away from the edge of the cliff. That's the first thing. Smile, be friendly, and say, can I help you in some way?
He would always look, and if he saw anything suspicious, he would go across.
Rather than just talking them out of it or reporting them to the police, I know that he would invite them back to his house with my grandmother Moya, and my grandmother would cook them dinner or tea, and sort of look after them and talk to them.
It was during his time in the Navy that he first started to watch over others.
He was a lookout. He was then put onto the bridge, I think it was, as a lookout. Even now, the first thing he does is get up of a morning and look for ships and look for anything. And of course then, in looking for that, if there was somebody over there, he was the first one to see them if they, looked suspicious.
Incredibly, authorities say that Don has saved more than 160 people, but unofficial estimates put the number closer to 400, an act that has seen Don put his own life on the line, climbing the safety fence to pull people back from the brink.
You see an old man now, but he was just, he would have been probably 35 when we moved here. And so, it's sort of been over a period of about 50 years.
But tragically, there have been many lives Don has not been able to save. Unfortunately, Don was not there on the night that Diane Gadden's daughter took her life.
Tracy took her life at The Gap on the 15th of November 2005. I do not believe she wanted to die. I just think she couldn't cope with what life was for her at that time. And I know for sure that a kind word would make you turn around.
When people have said to me, how do you live there, with all that death and everything, And I'd say, aren't we lucky that we've lived here because he's saved a few lives?
There's nobody in the entire world that has done what this man has done.
And I'm still here at 84, so, maybe I'm being rewarded in some way.